This is a true story. In the summer of 2007, Dr. Elena Vasquez and her research team arrived in the remote forests of British Columbia to conduct their annual bird population survey. What they discovered would challenge everything science understood about forest ecosystems. Across hundreds of square kilometers, bird nests were being systematically emptied with surgical precision. No feathers scattered on the ground, no blood splattered on bark, no signs of struggle whatsoever. It was as if entire families of birds had simply vanished into thin air. The research team initially followed standard protocol, suspecting natural predators. Hawks were known to hunt in the area, and great horned owls had territories throughout the region. But the pattern was wrong. Raptors leave evidence: scattered feathers, disturbed nests, territorial markings. This was something else entirely. The nests weren't destroyed, they were methodically cleaned out with an efficiency that seemed almost mechanical. After weeks of fruitless investigation, Dr. Vasquez made the decision to deploy motion-activated trail cameras throughout the affected areas. The forest had grown unnaturally quiet, as if holding its breath. Even experienced field researchers commented on the eerie silence that seemed to follow them through the woods. When they finally retrieved the first set of footage 3 weeks later, the team gathered around a laptop screen in their field station, expecting to see the usual parade of deer, bears, and smaller mammals. What they saw instead defied biological logic. The creature on screen was undeniably a squirrel, but it was massive, nearly twice the size of the largest red squirrel on record. Its appearance was deeply unsettling. One ear was mangled and torn, hanging at an odd angle. Its eyes were solid black, reflecting the camera's infrared flash like polished obsidian. Most disturbing of all was its tail, which appeared charred and partially burned, with patches of fur missing entirely. The footage revealed behavior that contradicted decades of mammalian research. The creature moved with deliberate purpose, climbing directly to active bird nests and systematically killing each chick with quick, precise movements. Then, with methodical care, it would transport each small body to a hollow tree trunk approximately 50 meters away. The entire process took less than 10 minutes per nest, executed with the efficiency of a practiced predator. The contents of the hollow tree would haunt the research team for months afterward. When Dr. Vasquez and her colleagues carefully excavated the cavity, they found hundreds of tiny bones, each one stripped completely clean of flesh and tissue. The bones were organized with disturbing precision, sorted by size, by species, even by age of the victims. This wasn't random predation. It was systematic collection, suggesting intelligence far beyond normal rodent behavior. News of the discovery spread quickly through the local community of loggers, hunters, and park rangers. The creature earned the nickname, the Hollow One, and local hunters began setting elaborate trap systems throughout the forest. Professional trappers who had decades of experience capturing problem wildlife found their efforts consistently thwarted. The creature seemed to possess an almost supernatural awareness of human intentions, avoiding every snare, cage, and deadfall trap with uncanny precision. Dr. Sarah Martinez joined the research team as a behavioral specialist, bringing with her advanced camera equipment and motion sensors designed for studying highly intelligent predators. What she documented over the following months revealed capabilities that challenged the fundamental understanding of rodent cognition. The Hollow One would systematically disable competing cameras by chewing through cables in exactly the right locations to render them useless. It seemed to understand the purpose of the surveillance equipment and actively work to avoid detection. The creature's hunting territory began to reveal disturbing patterns when cross-referenced with industrial activity in the region. Every area of concentrated predation corresponded directly with zones of heavy pesticide application and recent clear-cutting operations. Soil samples from these locations contained toxic levels of industrial chemicals, dioxins, heavy metals, and synthetic compounds that had no business in a natural ecosystem. Dr. Martinez theorized that the Hollow One represented something unprecedented in biological research, a rapid evolutionary response to extreme environmental pressure. The creature wasn't just adapted to survive in a contaminated environment. It had become a manifestation of that contamination, turning from herbivore to apex predator in what appeared to be a single generation. The implications were terrifying. If one species could undergo such dramatic transformation so quickly, what other changes might be occurring in ecosystems worldwide, hidden from human observation until it was too late to intervene? The investigation took an unexpected turn when Dr. Martinez began consulting with local indigenous communities. Elder Mary Blackfeather of the Carrier Nation shared oral histories that had been passed down through 7 generations, describing a creature remarkably similar to what the researchers had documented. According to these accounts, the entity was once a forest guardian, responsible for maintaining the delicate balance between predator and prey species throughout the region. The traditional story spoke of a corruption that occurred when the natural world was severely damaged by human interference. The guardian had absorbed the pain and toxicity of its dying forest, transforming from protector to destroyer. Elder Blackfeather explained that her ancestors believed such creatures grew stronger with each life they consumed, feeding not just on flesh and bone, but on the life force itself, becoming more powerful and more dangerous with every kill. Modern sightings began to corroborate these ancient warnings. Hikers reported hearing piercing shrieks that seemed to come from multiple directions simultaneously, echoing through the forest canopy in ways that defied acoustic logic. Those brave enough to venture into the creature's territory after dark described glimpses of something moving through the trees with impossible speed, leaping distances that should have been physically impossible for any mammal of its size. Park rangers documented increasingly disturbing evidence of the Hollow One's continued presence. Fresh bone caches appeared regularly in hollow trees throughout a territory that now spanned over 300 square kilometers. Each cache was organized with the same meticulous precision, bones cleaned so thoroughly they appeared to have been professionally processed. Trail cameras continued to malfunction in predictable patterns, always in areas where the creature had been recently active. The forest itself began to change in measurable ways. Wildlife populations plummeted in affected areas, creating dead zones where even insects seemed reluctant to venture. The silence was so complete that experienced outdoorsmen reported feeling physically uncomfortable, as if the forest were watching and waiting for something terrible to happen. 15 years after the initial discovery, the case remains officially classified as an ongoing ecological anomaly. The Hollow One continues to hunt, its territory slowly expanding each year. Its haunting calls still echo through the British Columbia wilderness on moonless nights, serving as a chilling reminder that some mysteries are far too dangerous to solve, and that humanity's impact on the natural world may have consequences we are only beginning to understand.